Greetings, CESSDA. It's a pleasure to be here at your 50th anniversary conference, CESSDA 50. It's wonderful to be in Bergen again for the second time for me, and it's just an awesome country to visit. And so thank you for having me. My name is Brett Powell. I'm the Associate Director of the Roper Center for Public Opinion Research. We're hosted at Cornell University in New York in the United States. We are approaching our 80th anniversary next year, and these milestones need to be celebrated. Your 50th is important. I can tell from being here that you've grown and you're facing new challenges in the opportunity of the European Union in developing. So I can see a lot of synergies kind of taking shape, and you should be proud of that. And I think the union will benefit from it. I'm here as a representative of the Roper Center for Public Opinion Research. We are an independent nonprofit. I do bring the perspective to this conference as part of the panel thinking about bridging to the future, the perspective of an archive that's been through 80 years and seeing technologies change and emerge. So the phone and text, the internet, stream sampling, and AI and the implementation of that. And so I'm trying to provide a perspective of we have seen some of this before and dealt with it, but the question is really how. And so an example that I used in AI was the emergence in America, at least, of synthetic respondents. These are avatar personalities of real people. And so the mission, the potential outcome is that we could do probability sampling much more efficiently and in terms of resources, cost, and time if those fake people, those avatars, those synthetics are actually representative of real people. So obviously there's a lot of experimentation that needs to take place in order for us to get there. Some people will use a corpus of data from an archive to do validation work, for instance, on that. And I think of AI as sort of an independent variable in this ongoing experiment. Social science society is an experiment. And so the archive has to wrestle with how are we going to keep this information while the science determines whether or not it's viable. Even on our board of directors, who helps us define the acquisitions policy, there are proponents and people experimenting with synthetics, and there are people who are very resistant to the notion. So it's an ongoing negotiation. All that to say, I think we've seen this before. I think of archives often as like an oak tree that has stood the test of time and watched human history go by and just sort of makes rings, and just keeps making rings and doesn't get too opinionated about what's happening in the lab of society, but does record the information and does give it back to society to do the research even after the fact. So staying the course, and then also fostering just a belief, fostering faith in science is another theme that I mentioned. Is like we have to get the people to understand, the public, to really appreciate science again, especially right now in America. You see that there isn't a great emphasis on science, but there used to be, and there can be again. And one silver lining of that is the Artemis moon mission, where all sciences were on display. A very diverse set of astronauts went around the moon, came back, and all of America sort of held its breath, and a lot of the world, to see if that capsule would open. And we didn't breathe out collectively until we saw their faces in the ocean there, and it was a success. And there's no other way than through science to get a mission like that accomplished. So we can actually continue to thrive as scientists and researchers. So that's the silver lining. And so we'll keep doing what we're doing. We'll keep giving back to society, improving our worth. And the last slide I shared was a timeline. 1947, our inception. Next year's our 80th anniversary, and then 80 years out will be the year 2107, where we're 80 years again. So I'm hoping that's our actual goal, and I hope that you guys here at CESSDA see 100 years soon. Well, in 50 years. Thanks for having me.